Friends, and amazing but ever so powerful energies are about to sweep over our planet like tsunami waves, bringing about shocking events and a change unlike anything we've ever would have imagined. But what exactly does lie ahead? Especially with the United States elections and everything that's happening in the United States and in the White House. We all feel, and we all, if not all of us, know that something big is about to hit. Something maybe not so good. But what exactly could it be? A great shaking is coming to the White House, and a great shaking is coming to the entire planet as the world and Americans witness him being taken out on a stretcher. Kamala Harris takes a temporary oath for a short period of time, as a major change of power is soon coming back to the White House, as Donald Trump returns for his second term. This, of course, will bring major chaos to the streets of the United States and major cities. And they show me the papers on the table, and it says hit right at the top of the paper with Donald Trump's name, and it says won it. Donald Trump hit. Yeah. Chicago, New York City, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, be aware. These are cities that are planned to be attacked from the inside. I see a large skyscraper exploding at the top. As the year comes to a close, you will see multiple conflicts breaking out all over the planet, including in the country of Iran. When these events happen, again, do not be scared. As long as you are prepared and you're in a safe place, you will be fine. For again, this too will pass. Beautiful friends, beautiful souls, I welcome you back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman JT. I welcome you with infinite love and gratitude. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. And if you're new here, you want accurate predictions, prophecy, truth, great content like this today, you got to smash that subscribe so that you can vibe with our tribe. Thank you for showing your love by clicking that thumbs up love button. Remember, content providers take a lot of time, energy, and effort to put content together for you. And we thank all of those supporters who make this free content possible for everybody else. I thank you with infinite love and gratitude. So with all these energies flowing in, knowing how powerful it is, and going into that next 8-week cycle that I've been warning you since the beginning of the year, telling you we go through 3 a year. And the second one starts on July 17th. And that's only the pre-shadow. That's just the beginning. When we hit August 5th, the energies are going to intensify. And then when we get to the full moon in August, oh, baby, look out. It's going to be crazy. And it's an 8-week cycle that takes us into early September. So with all these energies, timelines can shift and change, of course, as well. As I first connected with Spirit said the timelines still remain the same. So many of the past predictions and things that I saw in the past, Spirit showed me again, maybe with more detail and giving us more information, of course. So as of now, this is exactly what's ahead of us for United States and for the entire world. I did have quite a challenge with this video because I did the first meditation, usually always about a half hour long. And when I went to go edit it and put it together, the audio is really screwed up for some reason. I don't know why. There's a clicking sound. So that's not going to work. That'll drive people crazy. It'll drive me crazy. So I went and did a second take. Now, of course, 2 different channeled meditations is going to give me some different information. So after I play the good piece and the good meditation with the good sound quality, I'm going to just put together the little pieces that are different in my first meditation with the screwed up audio, just so that you have that other information, because I feel like it's very important. But let us start with this. And again, thank you for showing your love by clicking that thumbs up love button. A great shaking is coming to the White House, and a great shaking is coming to the entire planet as we enter into this next 8-week cycle beginning in and around July 15th. You will feel an intensifying and witness an intensifying of these energies in and around July 25th. Look for big things to happen on July 25th, including something big going boom. A great shaking comes to the White House as the dark evildoers that believe they hold control, not realizing that the full control is in that of the hands of God and the light. The light is shining down. On July 15th, Archangel Ezekiel steps back down to the continent of North America, bringing along with him the sacred purple flame of Saint Germain. This sacred flame will be ignited in many leaders who are acceptable to that. Some are completely controlled and ruled by the darkness, and in that case, those leaders cannot be ignited with Saint Germain's flame. So therefore, they must fall. You will see many leaders falling out of power over the next few years, including the leader of China, who should be out around 2027. 2027 will be a big year of leaders exiting and major changes in power, as a major change of power is soon coming back to the White House as Donald Trump returns for his second term. This, of course, will bring major chaos to the streets of the United States and major cities. They are already in danger, as the dark evildoers have been planning this for quite some time, and they think they know what they're doing, and on some hand they do. But again, God is in control. The light is control. You must know that these major events that are coming are there to awaken humanity. And around August 15th, you will see new light codes coming in from the sun and waves of energy coming in from the sun. As parts of the earth heat up to record-breaking temperatures, these light ascension codes are meant to bring light to you, wisdom, knowledge, to help you to see much more clearly. Everyone will see somewhat more clearly by the time we reach the month of September in and around the equinox. August will come with it many great surprises, including the fact that the dark evildoers are working hard to figure out a plan to push Joe Biden completely out of the White House and out of the race. Both. They want him out, and they will succeed in doing so. They are already planning on doing changes around his medications purposefully to cause an emergency, a medical emergency. They will change his medications and put something very toxic within his medications. They will do this, and you'll see how quickly things happen and things accelerate on the planet as the world and Americans witness him being taken out on a stretcher. Kamala Harris takes a temporary oath for a short period of time. And a big surprise comes in the month of October. Many big surprises come in the month of October. Be prepared as the eclipses come. The eclipses will show us that we are going into a dark period of time, but the light will shine thereafter. This light will bring so much truth. But at the same time, these waves of energy bring anger. Anger to many leaders, including the leader of China. Conflict between China and even Japan. Japan, beware. China is angry. China wants to strike back. Taiwan, be aware. They wish to take your land in December. As the year comes to a close, you will see multiple conflicts breaking out all over the planet, including in the country of Iran, as Israel plans to fly a flag ever so falsely in order to pull United States into a conflict to destroy Iran. This, in turn, will cause major turmoil once again to the Middle East, bringing about environmental disasters, major fires, problems with the oil lines, pulling Saudi Arabia into this. Saudi Arabia also about to get a wave of karma coming back to them, as so much evil and darkness resides right there in Saudi Arabia. A fight for power. One leader falls, another takes over. One stabs the other in the back and takes power a third time, as they be pulled into conflicts as well. Their waters become tainted. Their waters become poison. They must be aware of their waters. There is also a plan by the Dark Ones to unleash another outbreak of some sort in the month of October in the wish and desire to scare people into being locked into their homes once again. This, again, will pass. All things will pass. They will not succeed, but expect there to be big events, multiple events, all happening at once. Be prepared. It will be overwhelming, and many will not be able to suffer through the fear that comes when all these events happen at one time. This, again, remember, is a part of the plan, but also remember, God has a plan too, and the light will prevail, and the light will shine. These events must happen in order to awaken the masses, in order to awaken Americans especially, for you are stepping into many years of turbulence and many years of turmoil. But this will all turn out for the best. They will purposefully put a hit out on the new leader when he takes his second term in office, Donald Trump. I literally am sitting at a table as if I'm with the mobsters and the mafia, and they show me the papers on the table and it says hit right at the back, top of the paper with Donald Trump's name, and it says won it, Donald Trump, hit. But the papers aren't signed, which means this is on the table. This is part of their plan. And they will make that attempt in doing so before he even takes his oath of office in the new year. I have a vision and I see him pulling up with his cars, with the long black car with the flags in the front. As he's being escorted out of the back of the car, I hear 3 shots being fired. I see him grab his shoulder as they jump on him to protect him. He takes a hit in the right shoulder. He holds his shoulder. I see him come to the hospital window with his thumbs up in the air. All is well. This is a reflection of what happened to Ronald Reagan in the 1980s. You will see the correlation between the two events and how similar they are, including how similar this coming assassination attempt will be to that of John F. Kennedy. This will actually help to bring out more truth to John F. Kennedy's passing as well. Be prepared. So many things. Full disclosure of all things. That of alien life, UFOs, that of the truth of what happened to John F. Kennedy. Even though most Americans already know, we need the evidence on the table. More than anything, we need those that are still alive to pay the justice that needs to be paid for the Kennedy family. I see many people being rounded up and pushed on buses. I see people also being escorted into what appears to be like FEMA camps. These people all look like they are of different descent and different nationalities. I can easily assume that what I'm seeing is a roundup of people and the illegals in the United States when Trump steps in. But I feel like this is going to rub off in other countries as well. I see other countries doing this. Spirit reminds me of what happened to the Japanese people in the United States back in the day. They were put into these camps. So I would say that there's going to be another event in the future very similar to what happened back in those days with the Japanese people, where certain people will be rounded up and put in these camps, whether it be just United States or other countries, but beware. And again, no, this too will pass. Many will call it seeking revenge, but in the reality of it all, the purple flame of Saint Germain and especially Archangel Ezekiel steps upon North America to point out and bring to the center of attention division, racism, and the environment both. So therefore, yes, you will see what people will think is civil war in the streets, but there will not be the civil war that they're pushing on you in their media or in their movies. This is what they want. You must defy this. And the light codes that awaken the people, especially those that come in October shortly after the eclipses, will awaken people. People will know, they will learn that we must get along. Therefore, unfortunately, in the future, there will be a division of states, a divide, not just in the United States. I see this in other countries. I see this happening in China, to being divided. And I also see a division happening with Japan as well, as if Japan divides into 2 or 3 states. This division, Spirit says, in the long run will be very positive for humanity, and people will all get along from state to state. See some type of large explosion in this big plume cloud happening. And again, I feel like I'm towards the end of July, right around maybe July 25th. Spirit also says pay attention to the dates August 12th through August 15th. For chaos will break out during this time. And this could be the time that we can expect the great shaking to happen within the White House as they manipulate things in a way that they want. I see Kamala Harris sitting by herself on a couch looking very sad and depressed. Not because of what happened to Biden, but because of what they're doing to her. She wants power. She wants it and thinks that she's going to get it, but that's not going to be the case at all. None of them will succeed. Even though they pull in a new candidate, suddenly a big surprise. The Spirit told us a year ago that there would be a sudden last-minute surprise candidate that will step in. This timeline still exists, so this prediction still holds strong. This man comes from the West Coast. He is filled with darkness and evil. He is one of the puppets of the puppeteers of the WEF and many others that wish to bring you down into complete enslavement. He puts on a good show. He puts on a really good show. But you're going to see lots of very interesting truths being dropped around him and his past. Of course, they'll say it's lies, including videos that they'll say are fake. But yeah, lots of truth will be revealed around this sudden new candidate who isn't going to make it very far. For by that point, in all the ascension codes, Americans will have made up their mind. This is why the Dark Ones wish to pull off many events in the month of October, many surprise events to cause delays, to push the election. And they may very likely succeed in pushing the election, but they will not succeed in getting the results that they want after the election. They will attempt to lie. The election will come out to be a huge surprise. They're going to make it look close, but in the reality, when the truth comes out, it is not even close. It is a landslide win. Mr. Trump must be very aware of the candidate that he picks to go with, for he's going to end up making the same mistake he did the last time by bringing a traitor alongside of him. A traitor that will turn on him worse than the traitors of his past. He must be aware, because this is the person who will take power when Trump does pass away around the month of June, early July 2027, when he's in his 3rd year of his 2nd term. There could also be some type of flip that happens with the election. I'm not sure what Spirit's showing me, but I literally see like a pancake being flipped. You know, with blue on one side, red on the other. And Spirit says the whole thing flips at the end. It flips. So we can assume that they're going to make it look like their candidate's winning, and then in the end it flips. It flips. Watch the Lion Media. Watch the Lion Media. Chicago, New York City, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles. Be aware, these are cities that are planned to be attacked from the inside by those who already gathered on fields and farms training for what is to come. They're planned to attack our own country from the inside. They will not succeed very far. They will not get very far. And again, this is part of the awakening of humanity and the awakening of Americans, realizing how unsafe the country has become and how dangerous as we see attacks in many cities. I see a large skyscraper exploding at the top, almost appears like a gas explosion, but I feel like this is intentional. It's part of the big blasts that are coming. Big plans, big blasts, again, likely between October and also December. Many conflicts will ignite in December. This will also be a time when they go after Iran. Beware. When all these conflicts break out, there'll be so much going on, and that is when you'll see Russia go in and take these cities at once, bringing things to a close eventually soon after. For there'll be too much going on in the world all at one time. Going back to this large skyscraper building, I believe I might be in Chicago in a hotel of some sort. Again, this feels extremely intentional. Feels like it's done from the inside. I also feel like this is a building where, of course, many of the legal immigrants were sent and paid to be there, doing this for whatever reason. Of course, they will blame this on Iran. Spirit refers this to being somewhat like what happened in 2001, but on a lower level with the building, but a bigger level when it comes to the streets of our cities, and a point where the military steps in. Military guard the southern borders of the United States and even parts of the northern borders, as our cities are taken over by military martial laws called in certain places to bring peace to the land. It'll be, again, remember, when this happens, this too will pass. You should be prepared for major outages of satellites, cyber attacks on your infrastructures. Make sure that you are prepared for August and especially October and November. You should have at least 30 days worth of food and water, an escape plan, and a way to keep your family safe under any circumstance that may arise when this chaotic energy comes rolling in. Again, October, November, but also in the month of December as well. When these events happen, again, do not be scared. As long as you are prepared and you're in a safe place, you will be fine. For again, this too will pass. Many fires burn in the cities of the United States. The building that I see exploding, I feel like there actually may be more than one. I feel multiple attacks or explosions happening in multiple cities simultaneously around the same time or at the same time or within the same hour. This includes attacks that happen within France and Paris as well. Paris, beware, there is a big plan. But again, Spirit shows me the white flag flying. The white flag, symbolizes the flag that flies ever so falsely. 3 flags that will fly this way. 1 targeted towards Iran purposefully. Lots of anger coming out of China. Especially towards the United States. I believe this has a lot to do with when the final election results and new power goes into place will anger China. And they want to stop this power from going into place. So do many others. They will attempt to hack infrastructures and hack the elections. But again, they will fail. For God's light shines this round and will make it go the way that it needs to go for humanity to move in the best direction. But again, it'll be a very, very bumpy road, a very rocky road, especially for those who are not prepared. You must be prepared. You must not go into fear and worry. Know that again, in the future, things will become peaceful again. Once all of the trash is taken out, once all things are cleared. I also see they say it'll be revenge. He's seeking revenge, but no, he's seeking justice. For the light of Saint Germain ignites, and Archangel Ezekiel is all about justice. So many will be rounded up. Many will be arrested. It will be shocking to so many. And this will bring through many big breakthroughs when it comes to those little ones being caught up in traffic and those that traffic those little ones in drugs. Big breakthroughs. And I see a true war on drugs coming in the future. The war on drugs in the future, in the past, in the 80s, was all just a lie. It was all just a cover-up. But no, there's a real war coming towards drugs, towards the cartels. going in after them. Do not at all be surprised or shocked to see United States launch some type of attacks towards the cabal and towards the gangsters of Mexico. I see helicopters going in very quickly, going across the Mexico border and heading towards what looks like cartel properties. I also see something going into the tunnels and doing something to the underground tunnels and blocking them off. And not only are they going into these tunnels that are used by the cartel and traffickers and drug dealers, these tunnels will also lead to other tunnels where bigger things happen, darker things happen, evil things happen. So many breakthroughs are coming over the next few years. Be aware, including breakthroughs and falls in the economy and economic system. Be aware that in the month of August, there will be an attempt, a test to test their cyber attacks on America, UK, England, France, Canada, but mainly United States. You will see so many major outages in the month of August. Now, some of these outages will actually be caused from sunflare activity right around the mid-month or around the 15th, and they will be short-term outages. The bigger outages will be, again, an attempt to test their skills at taking down certain big power grids, shutting down certain water systems, and more importantly, their goal is to go into the banking systems and attack them very, very strongly. This is an inside attack from the dark evildoers. This is part of their plan. There will be darkness in many places for many days. When the lights go dark, know again that as you are prepared and you make sure that you have candles, flashlights, backup power, and a way to cook your food for at least a few days, you'll be fine. Do not fear the blackouts. When they say that he is out to seek revenge, but really it's the light of Archangel Ezekiel seeking out justice, you will see many elite members literally being rounded up and arrested. Many shocking arrests. And again, they'll yell, he's trying to get revenge. But no, in reality, he's not even responsible for it all. He's giving the justice system the thumbs up to go after those who have brought injustices to the country and to the world. I see back-to-back presidential funerals. Joe Biden, I see a vision of his actual funeral taking place. I believe I'm in our current year, our current timeline. Perhaps his funeral taking place, and this could be part of the shocking of the White House in August and then also October. But if Joe Biden manages to make it past, he won't last through 2025. I see two former presidents' funerals back to back within maybe days or a week, 2 weeks most to each other. And then 3 years later, I see a larger, big presidential funeral. I believe that will be for the next person that takes power in the White House. Again, Donald Trump passing the third year of his second term from natural causes. People will yell that, oh, conspiracy, or oh, they killed him, or they poisoned him. But that actually will not be the case. His heart will give out sometime near his birthday. It will be natural. It will happen within the White House. So much dark energy lies within the White House and swirls around like little tornadoes. The best thing the new leader of power could possibly do is have a clearing and a blessing of that whole entire White House and property. That would give us better hope for the world. Otherwise, all those that step into the White House step into that swirl of dark energy, and it'll be hard for them to fight. And again, this is why Archangel Ezekiel and Saint Germain are being sent back down at this time and place. Other archangels will descend back down to the earth over the next 2 years as well. Remember, again, in the month of December, also be prepared. Be prepared in other countries. I see chaos breaking out in Japan. I see problems for China, but also Taiwan. I warn you, Taiwan, they're moving in. And likely they're moving in before new power steps into the United States. The leader of China becomes super angry, overwhelmed with hatred and anger more than the usual towards the United States. I believe this is directed towards Donald Trump specifically. Therefore, we must beware. He wants to do something before new power steps in, while Kamala is in charge, which could be a disaster. This could be when we again see the martial law being called. And when it is, again, take cover, be safe, be prepared, do not be scared. This too will pass. Flags that fly ever so falsely is what Spirit shows, and shows me 3. And one of these they'll try to compare to the event that happened in Pearl Harbor. Something very similar to that. Again, as a way of giving excuses to retaliate against those who may or may not be responsible. I also see some type of large explosion happening off the west coast of the United States. This could potentially be at a port, and potentially some type of explosion that is purposefully put in the shipping containers to blow up the ports. America must be, and Canada must be very aware. This is a plan. This is a plan. Do it from the inside. Send the containers. One of these containers will malfunction on a ship. That should be the sign and the warning to check all things before they enter into the waters of and touch the coastlines. I believe I'm at a port. If there is a port, I believe I'm at a port in California, closest to San Diego, where this large explosion happens from the shipping container right at one of the ports. At the same time, this will bring positive in the aspect that it will make America and other countries more alert to these types of secret attacks. Always look at the positive for events happen so that we can shift them in a better direction, or so they don't happen again in the future. Very interesting to say the least, my friends. And that's just the first part, the good audio meditation that worked out. With my connection to my master guide, one of my master guides' name's Andrew. He wants me to share that with you. So thank you, Andrew, and all the rest of my guides for that great information. This next part, and if you like that content so far, just a reminder, it really helps the channel, really gets this information to more people, helps our tribe to grow when you smash that thumbs up love button. This second part is just small clips of things I said in my first meditation. And again, the audio is messed up, so you don't need to say anything in the comments. We know, I'm telling you ahead of time, the audio in these clips is a little screwed up. Not playing the whole thing because it pretty much aligns exactly with the other meditation, but there's just a few pieces that were different that I feel was important that you need to see. So check it out. Except we are now stepping into a time where all these events are going to accelerate very, very quickly, happening all simultaneously, one after another, not just within the United States, but on the global stage. As we reach towards the 20th of July, you will feel the energies intensifying as new conflicts begin to ignite. Especially around the date, the 25th, you can expect major events happening completely energetically and affecting both the earth itself with earthquake events and affecting political uproar in United States and globally. Issues igniting around China and issues igniting between China and Japan both. Especially as we progress towards the end of the year in the month of December. And your new surprise candidate steps in. This candidate comes from the west coast of California, is extremely dangerous to what you call democracy. He would be the one that would destroy things. And he will not make it far at all. We should feel that energy, especially in North America, even all the way up to Canada, begin to shift as events again begin to accelerate and simultaneously hit one after another. But great conflict will break out. Great conflict will hit Iran. There'll be conflict even within China itself. conflict around Japan. We will see so many new conflicts breaking out as the year begins to come to a close. People will be screaming that World War III has begun, but it has not. There is a very dark war happening in the ethers in another dimension between the light and the dark is furious over the Lord and light stepping in onto the planet Earth during this time. Remember, with the month of October will come many big endings. It is the vibration of endings. It is also new beginnings. As the eclipse shows us, the darkness will flow first before the light shines again. That light will shine again. I feel 3 strong cities that are in the greatest danger, the gravest danger. That being Chicago, number 1. Where we will see explosive events, including potential explosions. New York City being the second in line. You would think first New York, but actually Chicago's the first target, followed by New York, and then the center of Los Angeles, California. Once the change in presidency finally does occur, which will be delayed for multiple reasons as the dark tries so hard to change and shift things in the direction that they wanted to go in, and they will fail again as these lights are ignited within the hearts of our leaders globally. October 5th, not sure what October 5th, July 25th, August 4th, August 29th, and July 29th. All important dates to look towards for huge significant events. These plans have been in place for decades. Plans that will and must fail. Because God's plan is much better. God's plan is much brighter. A brighter future lies ahead. Always know that. As things and systems begin to collapse, including a collapsing of the economy and a massive cyber attack happening around the month of October. This could be in relationship to the October 5th date. I keep seeing a vision. I'm standing in front of the Empire State Building in New York City. In the distance, staring at the front of the building. When all of a sudden I see flames erupting. The Empire strikes back. Beware. There's some type of fire or some type of explosion that occurs either inside the Empire State Building itself or right next door. This does not feel to be related to gas. Very interesting to say the least. And remember, things can shift and change. We can hold things in the light and shift some things, whereas some things are not going to change. Some things have to occur in order for people to awaken, in order for us to fulfill the lessons that we came into this lifetime to fulfill. So always be prepared. Again, do not be scared. Take the advice of Spirit. These predictions and tapping into this information helps us to become more aware and prepared for what potentially is lying ahead in our near future. You don't want to listen to this and not heed the advice, and when the time comes, be one of those people that are struggling because you didn't prepare or you didn't have a plan. Very, very, very important. And again, if you're new here and you did smash that subscribe button, welcome to the tribe. We are so glad to have you. Thank you for all the supporters again through your chat cash. Members of the community, the monthly supporters down below on YouTube, those that send through contributions through the links down below, I appreciate you. Also down below, you'll find the link to my newsletter. It's free. Sign up so you know what's going on. Make sure that when you do sign up, you hit the confirmation email that you receive after you sign up. Very important, or you're not going to get the email. Always check your spam folders, too. A new newsletter goes out the first of every month. If you want more information on myself, private sessions, and upcoming master class that starts at the end of August, check out my website at josephtittel.com or spiritmanjt.com. Again, I'm so glad that you hung out with me today. Pass this information on to others. Share it on your social media. And again, thanks for vibing with the tribe. Remember to be bold, be true, be kind, be you. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste and much love. Much love.